Hey guys, Scott here. This is going to be a video response to the Boonsky St. Patrick's Day 2014 Contest Giveaway Extravaganza. This portion of the contest was about Irish food. So what I've decided to make for you today is called a Dublin Coddle. Traditionally, this dish is made with sausage, bacon, onion, and potatoes, and it dates back as far, well, at least as far as the early 18th century from what I've read. It's one of the favorites, again, that I've heard of, one of the favorites of Jonathan Swift, who was the author of Gulliver's Travels. He was also the Dean of Christ Church Cathedral in Dublin. So this again is called a Dublin Coddle. Okay, so for our Dublin Coddle, our ingredients, I have about 1.5 pounds of good bacon. I have 1.5 pounds to 2 pounds of smoked sausage cut up in chunks. I have 2 red onions. You can use red onions, white onions, yellow onions, whatever onions you like. And I have about 2 pounds of red potatoes, just quartered. 2 cups of good quality chicken stock. I have some fresh chopped parsley, and of course salt and pepper to taste. The first thing we're going to do, we've got a good hot pan on the stove. You want to make sure it's good and hot when you start. We're just going to brown up this bacon and this sausage. I didn't add any extra oil because your bacon will make enough grease and oil on its own, as well as sausage. Okay, I'm going to work on this. I'll be back in a couple of minutes. Okay, so I've let this brown a little bit. We've got some good color in there. One thing I want to touch on real quick, if you'll notice I'm using a rubber spatula to stir this with. If you're making this at home, make sure if you're using a rubber spatula, it's a high heat rubber spatula. If you're using any of the low cost, cheaper models, what you're going to end up with is a big pile of melted rubber in the bottom of your pan, and you're going to lose all your product. So you notice there's a lot of grease and stuff in this. See, I didn't start out with any. You want to keep stirring this, keep it moving so it doesn't stick on you. Another reason why you use cast iron. You can use a Teflon if you want, a non-stick pan if you want. I love using cast iron, especially with older traditional recipes like this. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to go ahead and drain this out, because you're not going to want to put all this grease in your dish. In your Dublin Coddle. It's not a grease coddle. So I'm going to drain this out, and we'll be right back. Okay, so the original recipe calls for this to be done on the stovetop in a Dutch oven. However, due to the conveniences of modern technology, we can do it all in a crock pot. You can do this of a morning, set it, forget it, and have it ready in the evening when you get home. So basically what you're going to do is you're just going to take the ingredients and layer them in your crock pot. So I've got my onions, sausage and bacon mixture. I pulled out and drained. And my potatoes. Now if you noticed before on the potatoes, I had them in water, and that was basically just to keep them from turning colors, turn brown on me. So you put that in there. Okay. Then we're going to take our fresh parsley, and you're going to use, like I said, a good 3 or 4 tablespoons of parsley. Okay. And again, 2 cups of a really good chicken stock. All right. Hit that with a little salt. One thing you want to remember about your salt, you want to go easy. It's a lot easier to take, or it's a lot easier to add than it is take away. And pepper. And put the lid on it. I'm going to see you in about 4 or 5 hours. Okay, so after about 5 hours, 6 hours in the crock pot, we have our Dublin Coddle.